While they're sleeping, you're working. While they're complaining, you're building. While they're quitting, you're pushing. That's the difference. That's the edge. That's the Skype line. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants the spotlight. Everybody wants the reward. But let me tell you something. Very few people want the process. Very few want the sacrifice. Discipline is not sexy. It's not loud. It's not easy. But it is power. And if you learn to master it, you won't just compete. You will dominate. Today we're talking about doing what others won't, so you can live how others can't. Everybody wants success, but not everybody wants the sacrifice that success demands. Discipline begins with one powerful decision, choosing what you want most over what you want right now. That's the battle, that's the war. Every single day you wake up, you are standing at a crossroads. On one side, there is comfort. On the other side, there is growth. And most people choose comfort because it feels good in the moment. But what feels good now can cost you everything later. And choosing long-term over short-term means saying no to the easy option. It means understanding that the small decisions you make today are shaping the life you will live tomorrow. When the alarm goes off at 2 a.m., your bed feels warm, safe, comfortable. Your goals feel far away. In that moment, discipline whispers, get up, not because you feel like it, not because it's exciting, but because your future is more important than your feelings. Most people let their emotions decide their actions. If they feel tired, they rest. If they feel bored, they quit. If they feel challenged, they retreat. But discipline doesn't ask how you feel. Discipline asks who you want to become. And the person you want to become is built in the moments when you push past what's easy. Then delaying gratification is a superpower. It's the ability to look at temporary pleasure and say, not now. It's choosing to study while others scroll. It's choosing to train while others sleep. It's choosing to save and invest while others spend and impress. Every time you delay a short-term reward for a long-term vision, you are strengthening your character. You are building self-respect. You are proving to yourself that your dreams are what comes comfort. Then understand this, short-term pleasure often creates long-term pain. Long-term discipline creates long-term freedom. That late-night junk food might taste good for 5 minutes, but it costs you your health. Skipping practice might feel relaxing today, but it costs you your edge tomorrow. Avoiding hard conversations might feel safe now, but it costs you growth in the future. Discipline forces you to see beyond the moment. It forces you to think bigger than today. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. The pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of regret lasts forever. Regret is heavy. Regret whispers, what if? Discipline eliminates that question. Because when you consistently choose long-term over short-term, you know you gave everything. You know you showed up. You know you tried. Every successful person you admire mastered this principle. They didn't just wake up extraordinary. They built it brick by brick, decision by decision. They chose the gym over the couch, the book over the party, the grind over the excuse, and those small choices compounded over time into massive results. And discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about understanding that greatness is not built in one dramatic moment. It's built in the quiet, boring, repetitive choices that nobody sees. It's built when you say no to distractions. It's built when you stay focused even when progress feels slow. Lemdians, when you choose long-term over short-term, you shift your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start seeing yourself as someone who commits. You become the type of person who keeps promises, especially the promises you make to yourself. And that builds confidence. Real confidence, not the loud kind, the unshakable kind. So the next time you're faced with a decision, easy now or better later, pause. Remember who you said you wanted to be. Remember the vision. Remember the standard. Discipline is choosing the harder right over the easier wrong. It's choosing growth over comfort. It's choosing legacy over late. And when you master that choice day after day, you don't just move closer to your goals, you transform into someone powerful, someone focused, someone unstoppable, because you prove to yourself that your future matters more than your temporary feelings. This is where real power begins. Can you keep going when nobody is clapping for you? And you stay committed when there is no audience, no recognition, no spotlight, because this is where discipline becomes real. It's easy to work hard when people are watching. It's easy to push when you're being praised. But the true test of your character is what you do in silence. Glenn, there will be seasons in your life where nobody understands your grind. Nobody sees your sacrifice. Nobody notices the late nights, the early mornings, the missed parties, the extra effort. And in those moments, you have a choice. You can slow down because no one is cheering, or you can keep building because you understand something powerful. Applause doesn't build greatness. Repetition does. Discipline means showing up without validation. It means not depending on likes, comments, or approval to fuel your effort. When you rely on external praise, your work becomes unstable. The moment the applause stops, your motivation disappears. But when your drive comes from within, when it's rooted in purpose and standards, it becomes dangerous in the best way. Blends, the champion is not created when the camera turns on. The champion is created when the room is empty. When it's just you and your commitment. When it's just you and the mirror. When it's you and the mirror. That's where standards are formed. That's where habits are reinforced. That's where power is built. Most people quit in the quiet season. They stop because it feels like nothing is happening. They stop because progress is slow. They stop because nobody is noticing. But growth is happening beneath the surface. Just like a seed underground, you may not see the change immediately, but roots are forming, strength is building. Capacity is expanding. Discipline teaches you to fall in love with the process, not the praise. It trains you to respect the work itself, to value improvement more than attention, to measure success by effort, not applause. When you reach that level, you unlock freedom. You are no longer controlled by opinions. You are no longer shaken by silence. And when the day finally comes that the world does notice, when the lights do turn on, when the recognition finally arrives, you won't be surprised. Because you've already been living like a champion in private. You've already done the unseen work. You've already paid the price. That's real power. Showing up consistently without needing validation. Grinding without an audience. Believing without evidence. Because when your discipline doesn't depend on applause, nothing can stop you. The pain is not your enemy. Comfort is. Pain is the signal that you are stretching, growing, evolving. And discipline is what teaches you how to use that pain instead of running from it. Most people see discomfort as a stop sign. Discipline sees it as a green light. Let every goal worth achieving comes with resistance. Your muscles burn when you train. Your mind gets tired when you study. Your confidence shakes when you step into something unfamiliar. That discomfort, that's the price of admission to the next level. And disciplined people understand that pain is not punishment, it's preparation. Then when you wake up exhausted but still choose to work, that's pain turning into progress. When you fail but choose to try again, that's pain building resilience. When you get criticized but use it to improve instead of quitting, that's pain transforming into power. Discipline allows you to reinterpret struggle. It changes your perspective from why is this happening to me to how is this shaping me? The truth is growth and comfort cannot coexist. If you want a stronger body, it must be stressed. If you want a sharper mind, it must be challenged. If you want a better life, you must be willing to endure temporary hardship. Discipline keeps you steady in those hard moments. It reminds you that the struggle you feel today is developing the strength you'll rely on tomorrow. Most people tap out when it gets uncomfortable. They stop at the first sign of difficulty. But disciplined individuals lean in. They do one more rep. They read one more page. They make one more call. Not because it's easy, but because they know that every extra effort compounds. Pain is temporary. It passes. But what you gain from pushing through, it stays. The confidence, the endurance, the mental toughness, that doesn't disappear. Each time you push past discomfort, you expand your limits. You prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought, and that belief becomes fuel. And discipline doesn't eliminate pain, it gives it purpose. It channels frustration into focus. It turns setbacks into lessons. It converts pressure into performance. Instead of breaking you, it builds you. So when it hurts, don't run. When it's heavy, don't fold. That's the moment you're being forged. That's the moment you're leveling up. If you stay committed through the discomfort, you won't just survive the struggle, you'll be transformed by it. Your body will get tired, your emotions will fluctuate, your motivation will disappear. But discipline is what remains when everything else fades. Mental toughness is not something you're born with, it's something you build. And it's built every single time you choose action over excuses. Most people are controlled by their feelings. If they feel inspired, they move. If they feel discouraged, they stop. If they feel uncertain, they hesitate. That's not strength, that's emotional dependency. Discipline teaches you to operate beyond emotion. It trains you to say, whether I feel like it or not, I'm doing it anyway. That's where mental toughness begins. Man, when you commit to a goal, there will be days when your energy is low, when doubts are loud, when progress feels invisible. Your mind will try to negotiate. It will whisper, skip today, start tomorrow. It's not that serious. And if you're not careful, those whispers become habits. But discipline interrupts that pattern. It responds with action. Mom, dear, mental toughness is developed in repetition. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you strengthen your mind. Every time you finish what you started, even when it's hard, you reinforce resilience. You're teaching yourself that your word matters. You're proving that you can be trusted, especially by yourself. And that's powerful, because when you trust yourself, fear loses its grip, doubt loses its volume. Excuses lose their power. Discipline builds that trust. Think about it. If you constantly break promises to yourself, skipping workouts, delaying tasks, avoiding responsibility, your confidence shrinks. Not because you lack ability, but because you lack consistency. But when you honor your commitments daily, even the small ones, your self-respect grows. You walk differently. You think differently. You carry yourself differently. Mental toughness is not about being loud or aggressive. It's about being steady. It's about staying grounded when everything around you feels chaotic. It's about keeping your focus when distractions are everywhere. Discipline trains your mind to lock in. There will be setbacks, there will be failures, there will be moments when you question yourself. That's normal. The difference between average and elite is not the absence of struggle, it's the response to it. Average minds crumble under pressure. Disciplined minds adapt when life hits you. Discipline says, stand up. When you're criticized, discipline says, improve. When you're tired, discipline says, one more step. You may not control what happens to you, but you always control how you respond. And that response is shaped by your habits. If your habit is quitting when it's uncomfortable, your life will reflect that. But if your habit is pushing through resistance, your life will reflect strength. Discipline also sharpens focus. In a world full of distractions, social media, noise, comparison, negativity, staying focused is a superpower. Mental toughness means protecting your energy. It means saying no to things that don't align with your goals. It means choosing growth over gossip, purpose over popularity. It's not easy. It's not glamorous, but it's effective. And here's something powerful. Discipline removes the need for constant motivation. You don't wake up wondering how you feel. You wake up knowing what must be done. That clarity reduces stress. It eliminates overthinking. It simplifies your life. You become less reactive and more intentional, less emotional and more strategic, less scattered and more controlled. That control is strength. The more you practice discipline, the more discomfort you can handle. The more discomfort you can handle, the more opportunities you can pursue. And the more opportunities you pursue, the more your life expands. Mental toughness is not built in comfort zones. It's built in challenge. It's built when you keep going after a setback. It's built when you maintain standards, even when no one is watching. It's built when you refuse to let temporary feelings dictate permanent decisions. Then at some point, you have to decide that your goals matter more than your moods. That your vision matters more than your excuses. That who you're becoming is more important than how you feel in the moment. That's discipline. And when discipline becomes your default, your mind becomes unshakable. Pressure won't break you. It will focus you. Criticism won't destroy you. It will refine you. Fatigue won't stop you. It will test you. Man, you won't need hype. You won't need constant encouragement. You'll have something stronger. You'll have standards. And standards repeated daily create mental toughness that cannot be shaken. Talent will get you noticed, but discipline will make you respected. Dreams are everywhere. Ideas are everywhere. Ambition is common. But the willingness to consistently execute when it's hard, that's rare. And rarity is what separates the elite from the average. Everybody talks about what they're going to do. Everybody has plans. Everybody has potential. But potential without discipline is just unused power. It's wasted capacity. The world is full of gifted people who never became great because they relied on talent and ignored consistency. The elite understand something different. They understand that small actions repeated daily create massive separation over time. They don't chase intensity. They chase consistency. They don't rely on bursts of motivation. They rely on structure. While others wait to feel ready, they move anyway. Average performers negotiate with their goals. I'll start next week. I'll go harder tomorrow. I deserve a break. Elite performers make decisions and stick to them. They build routines that remove excuses. They create standards that don't change based on mood. And that's the difference. The average person works hard when it's convenient. The elite work hard because it's who they are. Their identity is built around discipline. It's not something they try to do, it's something they've become. Then look at any high achiever in any field. It's not just talent that carried them. It was repetition. It was the hours no one saw. It was the sacrifices no one applauded. It was the discipline to stay locked in when distractions were everywhere. Most people underestimate the power of daily habits. They think success requires one massive breakthrough moment, but greatness is usually quiet. It's built in ordinary days handled with extraordinary focus. It's built when you show up on the days you don't feel inspired. It's built when you choose improvement over entertainment. The elite are not necessarily more gifted. They're more committed. They understand that comfort is seductive. They know that excuses are easy. But they refuse to let short-term relief sabotage long-term vision. Average minds look for shortcuts. Elite minds look for systems. Average minds avoid pressure. Elite minds lean into it. Average minds fear failure. Elite minds extract less. And here's something powerful. The gap between average and elite is not as wide as people think. It's often just a few disciplined decisions repeated consistently. One extra hour of preparation. One more rep. One more attempt. One more refusal to quit. Over time, those small differences compound, they stack, they build momentum. And eventually the separation becomes obvious, but it started small. The elite are willing to endure what others avoid. They embrace boredom. They accept repetition. They master fundamentals. They understand that greatness is not glamorous. It's gritty. It's disciplined. While others are distracted, they are focused. While others are entertained, they are improving. While others are comfortable, they are stretching. That's the separation. And discipline also builds reliability. When you are disciplined, people trust you. They know you'll show up. They know you'll deliver. They know you won't fold under pressure. Reliability is a powerful currency. In business, in sports, in leadership, the person who can be counted on rises. Average people chase excitement. Elite people chase mastery. Excitement fades. Mastery remains. To move from average to elite, you must raise your standards. You must decide that good enough is no longer acceptable. You must hold yourself accountable even when no one else does. That's uncomfortable. That's demanding. That's what creates elevation. Land when you consistently do what others won't. Wake up early. Prepare longer. Practice harder. Stay focused. You create internal confidence. Not arrogance, not ego. Confidence built on evidence. You know you've put in the work. You know you've earned your position, and that quiet confidence changes everything. It changes how you walk into rooms. It changes how you handle challenges. It changes how you respond to pressure. Because deep down you know you're prepared. The average person hopes things will work out. The elite prepare until they're undeniable. So if you want to rise, stop comparing talent. Stop wishing for easier circumstances. Start tightening your discipline. Start building habits that align with excellence. Start doing the uncomfortable things consistently, because in the end, discipline is the great separator. It's the invisible line between wishing and winning, between average and elite, between potential and performance. And once you commit to that level of discipline, you won't just compete, you'll elevate beyond what most people ever experience. Most people misunderstand discipline. They see it as restriction. They see it as pressure. They see it as losing freedom. But the truth is the opposite. Discipline is the pathway to freedom. Without discipline, you don't live freely. You live reactively. You live controlled by impulses, emotions, distractions, and circumstances. Glenn, think about it. If you can't control your spending, you're not financially free. If you can't control your habits, you're not physically free. If you can't control your thoughts, you're not mentally free. Lack of discipline keeps you in cycles. It keeps you stuck. It keeps you dependent. Discipline breaks chains. Len, when you wake up early to work on your goals, you're not limiting yourself. You're expanding your future options. When you choose to train your body consistently, you're not punishing yourself. You're investing in long-term health and energy. When you choose to study, practice, build, and improve instead of wasting time, you're not missing out. You're positioning yourself. Dandy, true freedom is earned. Financial freedom comes from discipline, saving, investing, and skill building. It doesn't come from random luck or emotional decisions. Physical freedom comes from disciplined eating, training, and recovery. Mental peace comes from disciplined thinking, refusing to let negativity dominate your focus. Plans, when you lack discipline, your mood controls your day, your cravings control your body, your environment controls your focus. But when you develop discipline, you take back authority. You decide how you act. You decide what you consume. You decide how you respond. That's power. And here's something deeper. Discipline gives you confidence because it proves you are in control of yourself. When you can say no to distractions, no to temptations, no to procrastination, you strengthen your self-trust. And self-trust creates calm. It creates clarity. A disciplined person doesn't panic easily. They don't crumble under stress as quickly. Why? Because they have structure. They have routines. They have habits that anchor them. Structure reduces chaos, and when chaos is reduced, focus increases. Stumbling, many people chase freedom without first mastering discipline. They want flexible schedules, financial independence, strong bodies, and peaceful minds, but they avoid the consistent effort required to build them. That's why they stay stuck. Freedom without discipline is fragile. It collapses under pressure. But freedom built on discipline is solid. Lens, when you train yourself to act regardless of how you feel, you unlock productivity. When you control your time instead of wasting it, you unlock opportunity. When you control your focus instead of letting distractions win, you unlock progress. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Saying no feels hard. Staying consistent feels tiring. But over time, it becomes your default. You don't argue with yourself anymore. You just execute. And that execution compounds. Imagine being the kind of person who doesn't need constant reminders. The kind of person who follows through automatically. The kind of person who maintains standards whether people are watching or not. That's not restriction, that's liberation. Because now you're not dependent on motivation. You're not waiting for inspiration. You're not at the mercy of emotion. You are in command. Discipline also protects your future self. Every disciplined action today reduces stress tomorrow. Every prepared moment prevents regret later. Every focused hour builds a smoother path ahead. Instead of constantly fixing mistakes caused by impulsive decisions, you're building momentum. Then freedom is not doing whatever you want whenever you want. That's chaos. Real freedom is having the power to choose wisely. It's having the strength to resist what harms you and pursue what elevates you. And here's the beautiful part. Once discipline becomes part of your identity, life feels lighter, not heavier. Spend less time negotiating with yourself, less time regretting poor decisions, less time feeling out of control. You gain clarity, direction, stability. You walk into your day knowing you can handle it. You face challenges knowing you have the habits to push through. You make decisions knowing they align with your long-term vision. That alignment creates peace, so don't fear discipline. Embrace it. It's not a cage, it's a key. It unlocks strength, stability, opportunity, and growth. It builds a version of you that is self-sufficient, focused, and powerful. When you master yourself, nobody else can master you. When you control your habits, nobody else controls your outcomes. When you commit to disciplined living, you create a life that isn't ruled by randomness. And that is true freedom, earned, built, and protected by discipline.